everybody, it is TorontoUnicorn, and I am about to do some question and answers based on the Ask TorontoUnicorn section I have on my website. You can now leave a comment on the website page itself, or you can leave a up to 90-second voice memo, and I respond in a video once I've accumulated enough questions. So today is the first instance of Ask TorontoUnicorn, and I'm going to go through. The first voice message is from Midnight Blue, and I'm going to play it.
Hello! Big fan of your content. Keep up the awesome work. I myself am a plus-sized male, but I've been curious about attending sex clubs like M4, but the obvious worry for myself and probably many others like me is that I would be wildly out of place in a club like that among all the more in shape and traditionally attractive people. So the question I have, and please be perfectly honest when I ask, how many plus-sized single gentlemen do you typically see on nights where single men are allowed? And how often do you see them make successful connections with others? Thanks in advance, and keep up the good work.
First of all, you were my very first voice message, so you popped my voice cherry. If that makes you feel special, it makes me feel special, so that's great. Thank you for your engagement on my content. I am a plus-size girl, okay? And I know you're a plus-size guy, but let me tell you, I had the same fears and the same reservations about even going as a single woman, because I didn't think I had any capital in the sexual marketplace, so to speak, as a plus-size woman, because modern beauty standards, the Kardashians, I don't know who you want to blame, but, not a lot of, body positive, influences out there enough that make us feel that we have something of value just because the body we have might be bigger than what is deemed normal or whatever, right? And so I wanted to relate first of all on that site. Now, on that topic. So plus size men. Yes, there are plus size men. Is there a lot of plus size men? Not a lot. Like, there's a lot of men, though. Like, there's people in wheelchairs. There's people who are standing. There's people of all different races, all, different orientations. There's straight men. There's bi men. I don't see a lot of perfectly gay men that go to the sex clubs that I go to because they have their own, bathhouses and things. So I think that, they go to those environments more, or I just don't interact a lot with them, so I can't speak about it. But in terms of sizes, I think most men care about the size of their dick more than the size of their belly or whatever. And so I think that even though you might be coming in with a body consciousness of being plus size, just know that every other guy in there, unless it's, he's walking with a horse, between his legs, is probably anxious about their own stuff, right? So that's good. First of all, you walk in there, all these guys aren't just standing there super confident. They're all kind of wondering, how do they measure up? Are they going to perform? Are they going to perform well? Things like that. So trust me when I say there's a lot of other things that people could have insecurities about in the same space as you. So yeah, what I would recommend about plus size guys is wear something you feel good in. You don't have to get naked if you don't want to get naked, but you could wear some sexy boxers that you have, or a sexy, outfit that you feel comfortable in, even if it's a robe, right? Like a black silk robe would be sexy, because you don't have to be naked if that's not where you're comfortable. If you feel sexier in something covered, then wear that, right? I know there's rules in the back rooms about wearing no clothes, no street clothes. So you'd have to find something that was more appropriate for the space. But so that's one thing. But I would say that plus size guys have made successes with my friends. I think I've hooked up with at least a couple plus size guys in my day, and it was more about personality for me. Now I tend to make connections with my head before I'll have a sexual connection with someone. But other people who might have a sexual attraction without the head stuff, they might be using physical body types as their types. I don't know. Is plus size people for everybody? No, but the people who do like us. And I think just find the people that think you're great and you're special and you're worth a great night, regardless of what size you are. So I am actually currently dating a guy that likes plus size girls, and I don't know about you, but I've never felt more sexy, even if I gain 5 or 10 pounds here and there, right? So it's you need to be with someone who wants to be with you and your person. And I know that being in a plus size body can feel like it holds you back. I know, I have been there. But if you find a way to own it, you find a way to feel good in it, I don't think you should have any problem, because if you use your suaveness, if you are a good flirt, if you're good at making conversation, these are the things that are going to help you get laid. So thank you for your question. All right. The next one is this one is from Neil.
What would be the best way to approach my partner to say I'm interested? Lifestyle, gay, non-threatening, or sexuality?
I'm not sure I even heard that correctly. Let me play that again.
What would be the best way to approach my partner to say I'm interested? Lifestyle, gay, non-threatening, or sexuality?
So it did cut out a bit. So I am going to guess that this is a person trying to say, hey, how do I get my partner interested in this lifestyle? Maybe that's what I've heard. If that isn't what I heard, Neil, by all means, you can leave another voice memo and update me. This is tricky because if you are already in a relationship when you discover that you're sex positive and want to be in a sex positive lifestyle with others, then you still need to win over some people's opinions, right? Like your spouse. Because the last thing you want to do is join an ethical non-monogamy lifestyle in an unethical fashion. So you don't want to be cheating on people. You don't want to be lying about where you're going. That's just not consistent with the good vibes of the lifestyle. So how do you convince your partner? Well, I know that there's a lot of things that different partners have as their reasons they don't want to go. If it's a religious reason, good luck with that. I mean, seriously, good luck with that. I don't even know how to help you there. But if it is a reason like they're nervous about, they don't want to be, fully immersed in the lifestyle, they maybe are curious about it, or maybe they have body issues, they don't want to be, around a bunch of naked people having sex, whatever it is. My advice is to find out what their fantasy is outside of your relationship, and start to get them to picture how exciting it would be to be around people even just fulfilling those fantasies. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you have this fantasy of like, maybe one day we have, two men in the bedroom instead of just me or the male, right? Then you could be like, well, why don't we go and watch people do that, right? That would be pretty fun. And the truth is, it's not like you're baiting and switching this person, because you're not trying to get her to the sex club to then be like, surprise, we're going to do some crazy shit. No. You need to be able to get people's consent about what they're agreeing to. And so if you go to a sex club with your partner with the pure intention of being a voyeur, that's fantastic. That's a great entryway. And so that's also an easier way to get somebody to explore the lifestyle, because they're not overcommitting. They're saying, yes, I'll go around. I'll see naked people. I consent to that. I consent to seeing sex around me. But you could have your own agreement that you're not going to play with anyone else, and that's fine. It's actually kind of normal for new nervous couples to come to the club with absolutely no intention of playing with anyone else. So my advice is to, baby step this, right? Like, let's just give an on-ramp to the lifestyle instead of expecting somebody to go from 0 to 100. If you make it about them and their fantasies, less than you make it about you and your fantasies, it actually becomes like the internal motivation for that person is more intrinsic instead of trying to do something to make you happy. And I just think it also just can, bait people in the right way of the exciting opportunity that awaits them, because you're framing it to them, you're marketing it to them in a way that, knows the audience, kind of thing. So if that person is not interested in fantasies that include other people, then build up the fantasy of just being naked and having sex with one another around other people, because that's also what some couples do in the lifestyle. They don't ever play with others, or maybe they do, but they just like to go and be naughty with each other around other people in a safe place. So there's lots of ways to onboard people to the lifestyle, and it doesn't always include going from 0 to swinger, right quick. You can absolutely do it in segments. Like, this is when we're going to go and just watch. Maybe the next time we're going to go and actually talk to people. Maybe the next time we're going to go and actually flirt with someone, and maybe not. So yes, that is hopefully was the good answer to your question. I hope that I got it right, and I appreciate you leaving a message. All right, so I have one. This is a written one, It says, hello, it's from Terry. Hello, I'm married for 33 years. I am 52 years young man who is being encouraged by my wife to try a sex club for single men's nights. I had sexual encounters with other women, and my wife loved to hear about the encounters after I get home, and it turns her on. My question is, how does a married guy go about going to a sex club and having a good time? Any advice, please, would be very helpful. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, just nervous about how others react to a married guy in a club without his wife. Her biggest turn-ons are hearing what I did with other women and how good they are and was it good for me. Then we have amazing sex together. It is a huge turn-on for both of us. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, TorontoUnicorn. Okay, well, you have a kick-ass wife, if I do say so myself. So, believe it or not, this is not that uncommon. There's lots of people in the lifestyle that get off on their partners having this wild sexual experience and then coming home and sharing it. Okay, so first off, that's actually pretty standard in some of the people's dynamics. So the good news is you will find other people that relate to that. And as long as you are ethical and upfront that you are married, so you don't lead anyone on or anything, but say that you are a hot husband, right? Instead of a hot wife, which is basically a wife that's allowed to go play with or without their husband present, you can be a hot husband. And so you can absolutely walk around proudly, even, put yourself a little sticker that says hot husband. I mean, it's something that you should just wear proudly. Like, my wife's going to hear all about what I do tonight. Do you want to be part of the story, right? So the good news is people will respond to it well as long as you're truthful, ethical, right? And I think that you would have some success if you said, that what you're there for, you're looking for certain experiences, you plan to report it all back to your wife. I think there's lots of people that'd be down for that. The lifestyle is really fun that way. And I've even asked a couple, in the middle of sex before, what's a fantasy you want to do right now? And then she would say it, and we get in position and do it. So there's a lot of people that like to help people fulfill fantasies. So I would say own it, wear it proudly, definitely go on the single guy nights, make your intentions known to people that you're willing to be a pleasure assist for the day or the evening, and then go back to your wife. So I think that was a great question, and congrats on a great marriage, it sounds like. So that's it for today. If you want to leave a question on my Toronto Unicorn website, I actually am not allowed to put the link to my fucking website on YouTube, on TikTok, literally anywhere else because it has been flagged as adult content. And so I can't link it directly, but if you navigate to my website, you will find Ask Toronto Unicorn and you can leave your own voice memo. And once I get enough collected, I will be able to produce a video and answer them. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to my fan page if you want to hear more and see more of my crazy adventures in the swinger and sex club lifestyle. I've got content from all the last 4 or 5 years, including some spicy videos with some people that I have definitely vlogged about on my YouTube channel. So hope that you check it out and subscribe and like the video. Thank you.